Hi, I want to make a quick video about Fear2Flow, which is my signature practice for, as it says on the tin, moving from fear, conditioning, a triggered state into flow. And it's a practice that I use every day. It's the very first thing I teach all of my clients. It's a practice to start your day in flow, and it's also a practice that you can use anytime you're triggered to change your state in the moment. It may sound like a mindset practice, but it actually changes your whole state. It works on a mind level. It works actually within your body because emotions are stored within our body, and it shifts those emotions, and it works on an energetic level as well. Just before we get into it, quick intro. I am Laura Lucas. I am a manifestation coach for people who want to manifest their soul's highest calling through their business and in their life. And they know that in order to do that, you've got to work with the universe. You can't strategize, you can't logic, you can't think your way to everything that God, the universe, has in store for you. So it has to be a manifestation. And my clients tend to be people who are high achievers, perfectionists, a bit in their head, and you know that you have to work a different way to manifest your soul's highest calling, and that's what you want to do. And that's what we do, starting off with Fear2Flow. So let's get into Fear2Flow. I'm going to describe it a little bit, and I'm also going to give an example of how I used it this morning, and hopefully you'll get to see it. It's not the full process. I don't have time to share the whole process in this video, and if you want to learn it, I am inviting you to message me and find out about the different ways, because there's always different ways that I have available that you can learn this through one-to-one coaching. I sometimes have group programs, I have intensives, so just message me to find out what's going to be the best way for you to start incorporating Fear2Flow into your life so that you can be in flow, you can manifest soul-aligned clients, and you can ultimately manifest the business and life that is calling you. So Fear2Flow. Fear2Flow is great for overthinkers because it starts in your head, and so if it's a morning practice, we start by checking in with what are your feelings, what are your thoughts about what you've got upcoming in the day ahead. If you're triggered in the moment, we go straight with the trigger. So the example I want to give is this morning I noticed that I was a bit up in my head about social media. I was thinking about, what are the type of posts I should be posting, and where should I be posting? What should I be saying? Should I be posting videos? Should I be posting stories? Should I be posting reels? Should I be posting written posts? That kind of thing. That's where I was up in my head. And I started to tune in to what are the thoughts, and started to drill down, what are the fears behind those thoughts. So I was thinking about social media, and what was the underlying thought there? The thought was, I have to get it right. Because if I don't get it right, then nobody's going to follow me on social media, nobody's going to read or listen to my posts, and if nobody reads or listens to my posts, then I'm not going to get any clients, and if I don't get any clients, then my business is going to fail, I'm not going to be able to do my soul's work, and I'm not going to be able to pay my bills. So, and it gets quite dark, it gets quite scary. These were the thoughts that I was having. So the thoughts that I tuned into where if I don't get social media right, then I'm not going to get any clients. That was the one that kind of stuck out to me. You can actually go through every single thought, and it's good practice to do that in the early days. But when you're doing it kind of in the moment, when you've been doing it for 20 years, like I have, you can just pick out the one that kind of sticks out to you. And the one that stuck out to me was, if I don't get it right, I'm not going to be able to make any sales in my business. And what we do, once we've identified that thought, we just ask the simple question, is this true or false? And when I ask, is this true or false, in the Fear2Flow practice, there are criteria for what's true and what's false. Basically, what's true is anything that you have experienced firsthand. So it's something that's actually happened, or it's an emotion that you've experienced. Anything that is in the future, that is someone else's thought, that is a judgment or a sweeping generalization. All of those things, for the purposes of Fear to Flow, are false. Even though there may be a kernel of truth in them, and we'll deal with the kernel of truth, we categorize them as false. And this stops your overthinking brain from spiraling. Is it this or is it that? Going back and forth and driving you crazy. Once we decide, is it true or is it false? Once it's false, we can kind of move on from there. And that's the beauty of Fear to Flow for the overthinker. So if I don't get it right, so there is no right, that's a generalization, so that is false. Then I'm not going to make any sales. So let's focus on the then I'm not going to make any sales piece. I'm not gonna is in the future. So it might be the future for today, it might be the future for the next hour, but it's actually in the future. And I don't know what's going to happen in the future. I could make a sale in the next minute. You know, I've got stuff out there, I've got a sales page out there, I could make a sale in the next minute. So nobody knows the future. And, you know, you could argue, oh, well, you know, if you don't get social media right, you might make a sale in the next minute, but you're not going to make a lot of sales. Let's keep it black and white for the purposes of stopping your overthinking mind. If I don't get social media right, I am not going to make any sales is a false statement. Okay, so let's just agree on that and move forward from there. So it's false, but the fact that it's false doesn't mean, oh, well, great, I'll just do whatever I like on social media, because you're not completely free of the fear yet, and we need to take the next step. So the next step, once we know that it's not entirely true, there can be a bit of relief in that, especially when you get used to using the Fear to Flow practice. Oh, it's not true that I'm never going to make any sales. There is relief in that, and you start to shift your state. But when we really start to shift it, is when we get into the truth and what's true for you. So this morning, when I was having these thoughts and when I identified this trope that was going on in my brain, I knew immediately it was false, because this is not my first rodeo, and I've had this thought before, and I have categorized it as false before, and I've moved through it before. But even though I've done it before, we still have to go completely through the process in order to change our state. This is not a mental exercise. So it's false that I'm not going to make any sales. What's the truth for me? The truth for me is I know I can receive clients in all sorts of weird and wonderful and magical ways. I can receive a client anytime. And that is true for me because of the experiences I've had. I've manifested clients out of nowhere. I've manifested a client actually when I've used Fear to Flow before. One day when I was in really deep fear, and I worked through my process, and once I'd shifted the energy and I was feeling great, I was feeling in flow, went for a walk, it was a beautiful sunny day, was laying in the field, and from that space manifested a client who came in through a testimonial I'd left on someone else's website, had never seen any of my marketing, went straight to my website, booked a call, and became a client the very next morning. And that's just one of my manifestation stories. So I know that I can make sales in any number of ways, in infinite ways at any time. That's the truth for me. Now, if you've not had that experience, that's maybe not true for you. I don't want you to try and convince yourself of that if it's not something that you believe right now. I want you to get to the truth that's the actual truth for you right now. So your truth might be, actually, you know, it feels like if I don't get social media right, then I'm not gonna receive any clients. So where you get to go from there is, okay, so social media is one way that I want to receive clients, and I do need to get fairly good at social media I need to be able to get my message across in order to receive those clients. That's not entirely true, but anyway, this might be the thoughts that you're having. These might be your thoughts. And if these are your thoughts, this is what we want to go with. We want to get you into what's actually true that you believe right now. So you might be saying, okay, well, I want to get better at social media so I can get my message across, so I can get more clients more consistently. And actually just showing up for social media makes me better at it straight away. I'm already better than I was when I first started out. May or may not be true for you, but let's roll with it. I'm already a little bit better at social media. I know more things about social media. I've read and listened to a lot of things about social media. I've got lots of ideas about social media. I've actually got more followers than when I first started. I'm following more people. I'm having more conversations. Actually, I'm getting better at social media. Now that feels like a really good truth to step into. I'm getting better at social media. And if I keep going, I'm going to keep getting better. And I'm going to keep working hard. I'm going to keep learning. I'm going to stay open. I'm going to take the pressure off myself. Do you see, you start to get into a role and your energy starts to shift? I'm going to take the pressure off myself, because when I take the pressure off, I get in flow and I have inspired ideas and I just show up and I do things. And it doesn't matter if I don't get it perfect, and it doesn't matter if I don't get it right in the moment, because I can show up again and I can get better the next day. And actually the only way I can get this wrong is to stop showing up and to give up. And I'm willing to keep showing up for it today. And this is how you move into flow. You actually change the emotions that you're having. You change the energy that you're having. And this is how Fear2Flow works. I'm just thinking if there's anything else I want to say about that. Yeah, so it's about actually finding your truth. And your truth is the solid foundation from which you then start to create. You're open, you're engaged, you're connected to your own intuition and inspiration. You're more engaging and connected to other people. Actually, it's a really good place to be in for social media. And this is the practice that I teach my clients. We use it as a morning practice so that we can step into flow every day. After a few weeks of practicing Fear2Flow, even when you're triggered in the moment, you can move yourself through it really quickly and get back into flow. Not going to lie, some triggers take longer than others, and if something really big hits you, it might take more than the moment, but that's okay, because if you stick with it, you do then move back into flow. So I'm going to end this video here. It was meant to be a quick short video. It's 12 minutes already. Just to give you an explanation and a flavour for what Fear2Flow is. You may have found this on a sales page of mine or on social media. Wherever you found it, there are different ways I have available at any given time to work with me, to learn Fear2Flow, and to start being in flow and start working with the universe to co-create the life you're meant for, that is calling you, the business that you're meant for, that is calling you. So if you've not found this on a sales page, just DM me and I can give you some information. We can chat back and forth in the DMs, or we can jump on a call and talk about what's going to be the best way for you to work with me and learn Fear2Flow so that you can be in flow and manifest the life and business that is calling you. Thanks so much for watching the video. Bye.